That's killed it.
You made the decision to play Thiago. But Klopp doesn't change the system. Since blue back left, you don't want to change from the 4-3.
What's going on, people? Bit of technical errors there. I'm not by myself today, obviously. I'm with man like Roms. Angie, what's going on? Boom, we're back in it. How you guys doing?
I'm okay.
Okay. Everything's well, just apart from our club. But other than that, I'm great, man. What about yourself?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm a bit anxious, yeah, because I got a call from Pep Linders asking me to be on their bench for the United game because he got no centre back.
Hold tight, our guy Jerry in the building. We're potentially making a debut.
I've been told. Yeah, I'm in reserve in it, so I'm just a bit anxious. But apart from that, I'm all good. But guys, as you know,
hold on, sorry, before you continue, are you fit though?
I can play 45 minutes.
Okay, no. Hey, that's better than what we've got. Continue. Sorry.
Yeah, I can do 45 minutes. You know what I mean? Well, guys, welcome to the Jerry James Show, to the favorite show of the week, the Tactics Ball, where we go in depth, where we target and we look at all the tactical talking points of the last game, which obviously was the Crystal Palace game. Now, please, as I say on every stream, ticket to entry is just the like, guys. So as we come in, please smash the likes. It means a massive amount. We've literally smashed 300 subs. So for this channel, for how small and niche it is and the amount of views we've been getting, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So I speak for Ash, G, Roms as well, and myself when I say, look, big up. Thank you so much to everyone, because the growth has been crazy in a couple months. So big up. I was going to run through the chat quickly just to, let's just marinate, see what people are saying already. Big up Trudon in the building. Trudon saying the tactical breakdown is cross, and inshallah. We're going to get into that. We will. As I said, smash the lights. KZ's in the building already.
Big up, KZ.
My fucking ass off. Please, Jerry, we need you in the dugout. Listen, I wish one day.
Jerry, they're calling for you, now.
Yeah, one day I'll be in the dugout. One day. Big up Ryan as well in the chat.
Big up Ryan.
LFC Aaron, afternoon. Ravi, yo, big up, Ravi, big up. Ravi saying this channel's box office. Jeez, we love to hear it. Thank you so much. Now, I think before we get into just like the game and stuff, I do want to address, obviously, all this nonsense we've been hearing in regards to these rumors. Now, apparently,
I know where this is going.
Why do you have to start like this?
Under the surface, the hour number 4, he's a centre half. That one, he's not available. He's injured. Now, I just want like instant reactions from everyone in the chat, Angie and Roms as well. How are we feeling about this?
I'm gonna let Rom start this one, boy.
It has to have been the witches that have been in our camp, innit? They've cast a spell, according to Klopp. But if this is true, I don't even want to start this stream on the negative, because, like I say, I'm always happy until I start thinking about our club. But if this is true, I'm not confident going into the United game. I need to know the severity of this and how long this could potentially be, because I don't even want to swear, but we could be done. But that's why I want to know how true this is, though, because there are no pictures from training. I'm just seeing Diaz and Firmino smiling. Firmino's back though. I don't know if that lifts you to his mood in the slightest, but Firmino is back. But yeah, that is. It's just upsetting. I don't even know really what to say now. I'm drained. Why is every player? Someone has actually cast a spell. Every player is dropping that flag. God forbid, who's going to be next? Salah, Fabinho, Alisson. that's one thing I would say about these injuries. We haven't, touch wood, we haven't lost core players yet. But this is the first, because the core, you would probably say your Salahs, your Van Dijk, your Fabinho, your Alisson, your Trent, probably them 5. We've not lost any of them yet, but if I just hope it's not a domino effect. One goes and the rest start dropping. Because why are we getting this much injuries? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's a mad one. It's a mad one. I mean, there's one thing. There's just one thing that I really want to do to Klopp, man. And I think we got to play it. We got to play it for the people, man.
Swear y'all don't know the
bro.
I want to strangle him, bro. And do you know what it is? I just want to strangle him. Unfortunately, it might not even be his fault. He might not be in charge of recruitment, do you know what I mean, of the physio side of stuff, but he's the face of it. And just like he takes the brunt when there's do you know what I mean, the pressers and there's the media outlets, and he's the one that, do you know what I mean, fronts up for the club, he's got to front it up in front of me as well. I'm telling you now, if that was Lewisham High Street, I'd be having him up against that McDonald's right now, bro. I'd be having him up against that McDonald's. Bro, if Van Dijk is injured, it makes sense. It's why we kept St. Vandenberg. That's why he's there. That's why he's here. Our potential partnership, because we know Gomez will go down. You know, if Van Dijk's gone, we know Gomez is due to go down.
100%. That's the certainty. But even just to echo what Rom said, like, why are we getting so many injuries? I'm seeing comments like, is the training ground made of cement? It must be, bro. Real talk, it must be. Because big up on Mohammed, man, but like, it must be made of cement, because I don't get it. We're getting a lot though, if you read, like, a lot. But it's like I said in the group chat, from last season, these boys are spent. These lads, sorry, they're spent. They're spent. All that energy trying to get 4 trophies and whatnot, and we haven't really upgraded or added to the team, like the first team like that. Like, these guys are dying out here. We're just running them to the ground. Fabinho, Van Dijk just came up from a serious injury. How many games did he play in the Premier League last season? Come on, man. Like, it's crazy. It's actually crazy. And we're putting ourselves in. I just can't wait until that Man United game. I honestly can't wait. Honestly.
You know what, ET? You don't want injuries at all. No one wants injuries, but
of course.
At least if we had them, at least can they be staggered, but all at once. All at once. That's just, it's insane. Like, we need art. Like, why is this happening? We need answer, because this is like 20 to 21 all over again. But now it's not just the centre backs. Now it's going around every different position. It's crazy.
I mean, I'm looking there and big up KZ in the chat saying, look, I seen Klopp in training. Man like Shawnee saying Van Dijk's doing individual training. Do you know what that comprises of? If anyone's done individual training, yeah, all they do, they get a coach review and you do a laps around the pitch. And so you do some stretching.
No ball work.
No ball work.
It's minimal.
It's minimal. It's like all it is. It's just a light jog. You touch the cone, come back, pop it off. Light touch. Like, that's it. So we know what it is already. We know it is. I mean, KZ's on fire today. He's saying, look, we're running UFC tournaments.
Big up
KZ. Who's winning them first and foremost? Because
that's why he's not available.
Yeah,
he's probably like Israel Adesanya, and he's got that, you know what I mean?
100%.
Boy. I mean, yeah, Halo bang up, big up Halo. Halo saying, fellas, I was looking forward to another title race, and hopefully your boys haven't butchered it yet, because if we three-peat, it's a mudded rivalry on your. Listen, if you guys three-peat, and big up Halo.
Big up Halo, man.
If it's a three-peat, I speak for Liverpool now. You man are the elite team. We are the side piece in this thing. Do you know what I mean? You guys are the side piece. In your Iron Man, and we're that Pepper girl. Where's Ting? You get a cameo here and there, and you're thinking, "Rah, she's nice." That's about it, bro. That's about it, and that's what man will look at us. People will be looking at us and be like, "Rah, that team's nice," you know, and that's what we'll get. That team's hard. That team's a solid team. That's what you're gonna get. I mean, look, Henderson at centre back incoming. Look, I mean, we're not the only ones that feel like this. Like the fact, look, me, G, Roms, we're speechless at the moment. We are.
I don't really. The thing is, we have to give the people content, and now obviously we're going to break down the game. We're going to go into details. I don't know what much to say. That I'm lost for words. I'm trying to think of things, but it's hard.
There isn't really much to say. There isn't really much to even go on. Like, all I'm just hoping is that he's fit enough to play.
Yeah,
simple as that. If he's not fit enough to play,
what does that mean? Fit enough to play, though.
Jerry,
the second game of the season.
Bro. I don't know.
Jerry, you know why you hit the nail on the head? Because I didn't even think of it like that. Fit enough to play means he's not going to be at 100%.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Effectively.
Fit enough.
You saw what fit enough to play was with Fab. Don't you remember when Fab came back from injury, was fit enough to play, and then he done something to his groin and was out like a couple seasons ago? Yeah, that's the same thing. Fit enough to play,
bro. At this present moment in time, the reality is we're in a situation whereby the board or Klopp, I guess we'll get into that at some point. The board or Klopp, they don't seem to want to sign anybody because they think we have these options within the team. Your options are dwindling, bro. They are literally dwindling every day.
Sorry to cut you, brother.
No, please.
Has the biggest comment of the day so far. Because this is what I was telling my boy literally a couple hours ago. Can you see to his comment? It's that Liverpool fans saying, this is what I've been saying. Because our fans keep saying, yeah, once our injuries come back, our full team will be fine. Yes, but how many points? What would be the difference in points between us and City? Not even just us and City. What if other teams are ahead of us and we're playing catch up? And then that's why Liverpool fans can't just keep saying, oh, yeah, we're going to be fine. Cool. If they come back and we're a point or two off, then we're all right. We're still within distance. But let's say there's a 7-8 point gap. Big up yourself to hear Cressy for that. Because I was literally saying this earlier. Literally.
Yeah, man, like Shawnee, big up Shawnee in the cut, man. Big up
Shawnee every time.
He's saying, look, G, remember when I showed you that conversation I had with someone when I said we're 1 or 2 injuries away from a Fab and Hendo at centre back? Since then, Matt Nubu got injured.
I blame you then. You jinxed it, Shawnee.
I know. Big up Shawnee, man. Big up Shawnee. Me and Shawnee, we talk a lot. Like he's got a lot of sense and he's got a lot of knowledge in the game. And when we was talking and he showed me that conversation, I was just like, you know, in my head, I'm thinking, nah, man, you know, maybe not, depending, obviously, how much injuries we're going to potentially get. Van Dijk wasn't even in my thought process. I didn't even really think of Van Dijk being the one who's going to get injured. Today we're here, man. It's actually crazy. Like, I'm actually just lost for words purely because I'm just genuinely wondering to myself, I'm waking up today, Manchester United look like they're close to signing Casemiro, potentially there. I know. I'm doing the same thing as Jerry right now. I'm busting up. Then you've got Wolves have just signed Nunez. You've got Nottingham Forest who've just signed Morgan Gibbs White. You've got Chelsea for 45 mil, which is absolutely ridiculous anyway. Then you've got Chelsea are fighting to get Fofana, but Aubameyang looks like he. All players now, again, guys, just for a bit of context, I'm not saying that we go out and sign something like all of these players.
Yeah.
But there is a few players in there that I feel that we could have potentially have used if all of these other clubs are trying to actually sign some of these players. What is going on, bro? Honestly, like Klopp, you must be able to see. Like, I don't know how many times we're going to come on a stream after each fucking game and we're going to be saying, bro, we need a player. We don't even need just one player no more, bro. Forget a midfielder. That's my concern right now.
But at the moment, it's any player, bro. Any player, bro. Bro, just a body, bro. All we need is a body. You know, that's something, but we can make it work. Like, I swear to you, you bring me a right back, I'll be like, cool, play Trent in midfield then. Keep him there. You bring me a winger, I'm like, cool. Follow, go up front then. Bro, we need to do something, bro.
We just need a fresh face, literally.
We need a ringer. We need a ringer. That's what we need. We need a ringer. Someone to bring his boy. We need Van Dijk to bring one of his boys back from Holland. One of the ones he used to play, in the cages with. Is that bring him along? Or one of Naby's lads. I don't know. One of Naby's guys. I don't know, man.
We need someone. And what becomes more evident is with the games that we're playing. Now, remember, obviously, as everyone keeps reminding us, we've only played 2 games of the season. We still got 36 games to go. Guys, we played Crystal Palace and Fulham.
No disrespect to them, but
No disrespect to Crystal Palace and Fulham. And we're gonna get into that Crystal Palace game. But we played Crystal Palace and Fulham. Man's coming out of that game with 2 points. Are you fucking crazy? Like, are you actually dumb to really sit here and tell us, yeah, man, don't worry. When the players come back, we're gonna be all right and do. You guys must be psychics and know that Man City are gonna go out and lose 5-6 games in a row somewhere in the future. I do not see that happening because I don't think they've ever done it under Pep. I feel like they've only ever lost 3 games at one time. But hey, who am I really to judge? Who am I really to say? Because right now, we can't even chat. We can't even chat and tell people about their team because our team is in the mud right now. It's in the mud.
I mean, this silence just says everything. It's like a funeral settings, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's funeral settings, but
it's just worrying. It's just worrying.
I mean, look, I think.
You know what? I can't stand you two. If we do beat United, Top Red is gonna act like it's okay, that everything's fine, and it's still not. It is still not. Because let's be real, this is a United team that's confidence on the floor. God forbid they get a result. Our confidence will be even lower. Because let's have it right. I've seen some fans saying, "Oh, we still got confidence because we've got winners in our team." Well, it's not been evident the last 2 games. You heard the saying, "You're only as good as your last game." So that's what we have to go off. You know what I mean? So. The thing is, right, you two, I'm trying to be positive. Like, normally you have maybe something you can cling on to. There's nothing right now, like nothing at all, like nothing at all.
No, you got to. No, go on.
No. You see, all right, this is how you know we're just absolutely fucked right now. Like you see with Klopp, yeah. One of the things I even think about sometimes with this whole situation is, sometimes you can even sit there and tell people like, yeah, you see, this is why I did this and that and the other, blah, blah, blah. If we had come out of those 2 games with maximum points, Klopp could have every right to turn around to everybody and say, I told you, we're good. We're absolutely good. Even though we haven't got the midfielder that we want or whatever, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
He could actually come out to us and say, guys, look, maximum points from the first 2 games, just keep believing. Then we might be coming on streams and it won't be so much of a doom and gloom because, as Rom said, we'd have something to cling on to. We'd have something to cling on to. But we've come out of those games again. I'm trying not to disrespect them, but brothers, Crystal Palace and Fulham, like we're playing against some lowly opposition. I don't care. I remember obviously Daps was saying about Fulham first game in the season. I don't even care about any of that. I don't care. You go there.
Why I'm not hearing that, G? Because we've played. If I get this correctly, the last 3 seasons, opening days before this, we've played 3 newly promoted teams. I think it's Leeds once and Norwich twice, and we won all 3 of them. So I'm not really buying into that too much, Because when he first said it, I thought you got a point, and I thought, 1 minute, we've been playing. That's what City fans get onto us for. We always get the easiest newly promoted team first day of the season, and we've always been spanking them. So I'm with you, G. I'm not buying into that anymore, man.
Yes. It's, I mean, yeah. I don't really know what to say anymore, bro. We need a.
You normally have a lot to say though. For when Jerry's quiet, this is concerning,
bro. Like, as in, just at this point in time, just get that Sanderberger in. Then just get the deal done.
Just get him. I don't care now. Just get him.
Just get him. Just get him,
bro.
Because you know what, yeah. This is why I love you, too, because yesterday when I saw the links, I think Anfield Edition was retweeting it. I was fuming. I was like, I don't want Sander, but he'll probably come in and not do anything. But at this point, they say beggars can't be choosers. What do you do? Just get him in now, like.
Bro, we can't be chipping. Listen, if I'm starting to hear that there's a decent 33-year-old option who I know keeps himself fit for a season, bring him in. Bring him in, G, because right now he'll probably be better than the options that we've got at the moment.
You know what, yeah? We're obviously going to get into the United preview at some point before the game. But I'm saying from now, I'm playing Bajcetic in that 6 and I'm putting Fabinho centre-back. If Van Dijk's injured, I'm not risking Phillips again. They're the 2 main changes for me that have to be made. Because, right, we've always said, Bajcetic, he's young, but if you're good enough playing, the only way you're going to get experience and get better is by playing. And I know they might say, Old Trafford, the Canaan could get the better of him, Premier League debut. it can make or break you. Like Jerry said a few streams ago, this is how young players got their names, by being thrown into situations they weren't prepared for. Then they did so well, they exceeded expectations, that they remained, that they kept their place in the starting team. I'd start Bajtic. This is one thing I've been doing today, right? I told a little white lad when I said to you, I've not been thinking about the team. I've been thinking about the team against United. I have, I'll be honest. And I want Bajtic in that sitting. Fabinho did well 2021 when we had a lot of injuries in that centre back position. But
yeah, I mean,
worrying times.
I mean, look, let me have a look at that, because before we get in, I think the thing that's gonna make me happy at the moment is just to see what the like counts on and just do some housekeeping.
Yeah.
Just talk about the game, because right now, I'm not gonna lie to you, like. Streets approved Thames. Yes, there are rumours suggesting that Virgil van Dijk is injured. He was pictured doing individual training. Now, that to me sounds very, very worrying, especially when you're with someone with dodgy knees. And I can tell you from previous experience, when your ACL goes and you've got to do individual training, you ain't doing any ball-to-ball work, any contact. You're doing light jogging, touching a cone, and running back to another cone.
Just to add to that, even if he don't have a long sustained injury, he's not going to be available for United. Trust me, he's not going to be available. Even if he doesn't have a long-term injury, I don't think we're seeing him for that United game. And we were already under pressure. Now that just takes it to another level.
And remember, with these kind of injuries as well, what like, obviously people are saying, oh, we're being a bit dramatic, and not in the comments, but like in a general sense. Don't worry, man, it's United. You got to remember, as Rom said, their confidence is on the floor right now. But when you start looking at your next game and you know it's the biggest game for them of the season, Man United versus Liverpool, then you start looking at their team and thinking, nah, we could do this, guys. Like, we could pick up a win here. Like, this could kickstart our season. Especially when you look at the team and you think to yourself, this ain't Liverpool of last season or the previous years. So why can't we pick up a win? They're at home. I don't know the situation with the fans and all that kind of stuff, but they're at home. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So
Abdus has to be joking. Not that I would play him anyway, but Abdus has to be joking. That's a joke. Where he just said Phillips is injured as well. That's a joke.
Nah, that's a joke, bro. That's a joke.
I was gonna say.
Nah, because then I'll turn up at the training thing myself, bro. As in, then you see that video that you guys saw Jerry put. Forget all of that video. As in, I'm getting Jerry, I'm getting Rom, I'm getting everyone. We're all hoisting Klopp. He's a big guy as well, so I might not be able to do it by myself. We're all hoisting Klopp, and I'm throwing them out of the flipping thing. I'm throwing the physio out as well, bro. They're all getting. It's just long. It's long.
I mean, look, we'll get onto this at the end, but we're seeing, look, who's spreading fake news about Virgil being injured. These are the talks. I mean, like, James Pearce hasn't come out. I know Shawnee's saying correction. Van Dijk was in full training. It was Matip and Nat Phillips doing individual training. So. Then pray. I mean, look, we'll see if maybe by the end of the stream we'll have some news. But guys, massive thanks. We're already on 27 likes, so like, we're smashing it already. So guys, if you could just keep it up, that will be amazing. Now let's get into it. Let's get into it,
man.
Liverpool versus Crystal Palace, Monday Night Football, 8 p.m. kickoff. Roms, you at the game.
For real.
You know what? I think this is the best for Roms. That first 10-15 minutes, how did Liverpool play from your perspective? And then we'll give our perspective, because they actually might be a bit different. Because when you're at the game, the atmosphere, the vibe might be completely different.
Cool.
What we're hearing on TV and seeing on TV.
Because even when I spoke to you two after the game, there's certain things you two said. And I thought, 1 minute in the stadium, it didn't really feel like that, but cool. After the intro and everyone and whatnot, the first 20, let me not say 20 actually, first 15, it was amazing. How we started off well? So obviously I was sitting in the cot. It wasn't in our half at all. First 15, it was constantly in their half. They were sustaining good pressure, but it was constantly in their half. So that's how you started well. Milne obviously having the early chance where he should have hit the target at least. Nunes, Trent, worldy pass to Salah, which I've still not actually seen it properly. He took it down and he just hit it quite tamely.
Yeah, a daisy cut in between. Yeah, a daisy cut in between the centre backs, innit? Or in between the fullbacks. And
then did Guaita just pick it up or just save it?
Yeah. Guaita essentially just picked it up. It was a great ball and just missed Salah or it ran off the pitch or something along them lines. But yeah, it did happen.
Yeah. because it was quite far. Like I didn't
Yeah.
actually see where it landed. I just know he missed by the reaction. Again, Harvey Elliott looked out of everyone. Harvey Elliott looked the brightest. He was on the ball the most. He was doing the basics right. He was keeping things ticking. But kid you not, Jerry, after that 20 minutes, and then Eze spun Fabinho and then played the through ball in, and then they went through again. It was just nervy. And even remember, fans next to me were saying this might. The guy next to me said this might be one of them days, and I was refusing. I didn't want to think negatively. I was refusing to hear it. I was like, I'm not saying we'll have a great performance, but we'll win this 2-1 or by a goal. He's like, nah. He gave me that look, like I'm telling you, when you just have that feeling. Then they scored. And he's kind of giving me that look, but I'm not trying to look at him. I'm still trying. I'm trying to think positive. Then it's gone to half time. He just keeps giving me that look, like I'm telling you, sir. Then Nunes gets sent off. Then I've looked at him like, yeah, your brother, I'm gonna listen.
You couldn't not look at him now, boy.
He's like, I said, I'm not trying to think negatively. You just get the feeling about our club. He's like, you said it in preseason. How many games where after 5-10 minutes, Liverpool just might not score, or it will just might just be sustained pressure. And yeah, so to answer your question, Jay, for me, the best spells of the game were the first 15 minutes and after Nunes got sent off. But that period between like the 20th minute and the 60th minute, so yeah, about 35 to 40 minutes, it was worrying. Palace were quite on us. And Jose Mourinho once said, you can control possession of the game without actually having the ball. That's what I feel they did. That's exactly what I feel they did, because they didn't have, I think it was 79-21 possession stats, but they were so assured in what they were doing. We didn't look like scoring. Yeah, that's how it felt like in the ground. It was quite nervy. And again, the ground wasn't singing as much as we should have been. It's like the nerves transmitted from the fans to the players. It's exactly what happened.
Now, G, how did you find? Would you echo what James is saying essentially? So first 20 minutes.
I'm gonna get this comment right up now. This is exactly how we played. Here comes up. So this, big up Liverbird, by the way. We started quick, but it seemed frantic and rushed. So this is what I constantly say about Liverpool. When people say we're dominating, we're not doing anything though. As Rom said, we're not doing anything. Yes, we are dominating the ball. We have the ball in dangerous areas, all of that kind of stuff, but we're not doing anything. Like, I don't feel like we're going to score. I just more feel like if we do score, it will probably be just obviously a typical cross, or it's just a frantic kind of chaosy goal. Like, we started quick 100%, but to me, that was just because we started so shit against Fulham. I didn't feel like it was that much different in my personal opinion in terms of the start of the game. Yes, Palace were always going to drop off. So, that was always going to happen kind of thing. So we're not composed. As Harvey Elliott, and I will take back some of the stuff I said about Harvey Elliott, obviously just through looking through the stats and stuff like that. He was one of the brighter sparks, obviously, in that game in terms of going forward. But as we saw in the game, defensively, he cannot play that right central midfield. I don't want him to play that right central midfield because that side is going to get cut open all the time. He can't defend. Trent goes walkabout. Salah is Salah. So that right side is like literally, unless Klopp can just keep the ball on the left-hand side when we're attacking, I don't want to see it. I don't really want to see it, man, because Elliott is good going forward. He ranks quite high for like progressive passes, and that's fantastic. But that tells me then maybe you put him a bit closer to the strikers, put him closer to goal, instead of having him in that right central midfield position where he has to do the tracking back stuff. He's not really disciplined enough to do that. You know what I'm saying? But again, as Rom said, look, up until I guess when Zaha scored, yes, we were probably the team on top. But I have to echo, Crystal Palace looked like they were calm with that. At no point did I feel like Crystal Palace were like, yo, we're getting overrun. And it looked like Vieira was just chilling on the side like this, just calm. Everyone was doing their job. I didn't see anyone out of breath or anything like that. Like, it looked like they had been drilling themselves all week to play against Liverpool, which obviously you would do anyway. But they knew the patterns of play, and that worries me more than anything else. The sheer fact teams are coming up against us now, and they know all of our patterns of play. I could sit there and I can guarantee the first 20 minutes of a game, I promise you, I can probably predict, without being too big-headed, maybe 70 to 80% of the passes we're going to make in that first half. That's worrying, bro.
Yeah,
How can I predict from my flipping chair? How does that make sense?
Gee, you know what's worrying as well? It's that Palace and Fulham have set a precedent for the rest of the league to just follow now. Like, that's the worrying thing. And then now Klopp has to have the tactical nous to now combat that, which we've not seen yet. Like, I'm not saying
but Roms, what you're saying is facts, but it hasn't been Palace.
No, you're right. It's been an earlier.
It's been from before. This has been going on for ages. And what's happened? We've always relied on a Salah to do a madness, or
individual quality.
Or do you know what I mean? Or we get a pen, or we win a set piece. But in terms of the play, we're not secure in the way that we transition the ball from defense to attack to the forward line, and keep it there, whilst not going and having this whole chaos thing. When City look vulnerable, very rare in the game, and when they do, you can see they get nervy. But that's because for 90% of the game, even when they're being attacked, they control. They not only control possession, they control when the other team's in possession. They press at certain angles. They push certain players into one sides of the pitch. We've struggled to go and do that, and I've got a theory as to why that is as well. And I'm going to get into that after
Just to add to that as well, City. What everything you just said, that's not even in the Prem as well. That's normally in Europe. That rarely happens in the Prem. They're rarely under pressure or not. And if they are, it's a few attacks, then they just regain possession of the game. So that's not even relevant to this now, because in the league, I don't see anyone really do that to them.
Yeah,
that's factual.
Facts. I mean, look, we're going to get into it now, and I think this is the best way to kind of just start off. Is looking at the game, and obviously big up Jack for getting this over to me as well.
Yeah, big up Jack. Big up.
Analytics. So guys, make sure right here, I don't know if you guys can see that on the screen.
Yeah.
But if you can't yet, please, Anfield Analytics, please follow up, check him out, because a lot of the data to compile this data and put it into a format and a way that we can then interpret is amazing. So big up Jack for that. Couldn't make it today, but sent this over in his absence. So big up. As we can see here, I mean, 71% possession. As Rom said, we've had 21 shots to their 7. Then 3 times as much shots. Do you know what I mean? Look, but then you look at shots on target, and I mean,
was just about to say, bro, what?
That's a massive drop. That's 14%.
That is crazy.
14%.
No. We had 21 shots, and you had 3 shots on target. So that means you had 18 shots in the game where they were off target.
Palace, basically, half of Palace's shots were on target.
Yeah, clinical.
Yeah, round it up.
You look at here, obviously 43% to 14 and 43% from when I spoke to Jack. That's a very high number. So they've done a job. You look at even the passing accuracy. I mean, for the amount of possession that they had, they were like Crystal Palace were quite high because they're still ranked at 75%. So to have 29% of the ball but still retain 75% of passing accuracy, that's actually not bad. Like, do you know what I mean, as a whole? Because that's a very low number. 29% is low. Like, very, very low. That's low. And we're looking, 88% passing accuracy. I mean, Jesus. Look, we're going to start from the left. And, the best way to see is that, obviously, possession by third, a lot of our possession was in front of like you can see it's 57% in the middle of the pitch, in front of that Palace, do you know what I mean, low block, and that's just not good enough. If you've got 71% of possession, it needs to be in the final third. The fact we can't keep the ball in the final third, that's scary to me, because you're essentially playing into their hands. 57%. That's what they want. 57%.
They don't mind the ball being there. It's not really doing anything for them.
I don't mind. If you're in a low block and we're behind the ball, that's fine. Pop shots from outside the box. Do all of that type of stuff, because we've got 10 players, right? Do you know what I mean? In behind the ball, or 9 players, should I say, including the keeper, all sitting behind the ball, stopping you shooting from goal. Like, you're not gonna go and shoot through 10 bodies. You're just not. I mean, we're looking. It's sad to. I mean, we're looking here and like Liverpool's attacks, and it's mad to think. Look,
Guys, can we just deep something, please? Sorry, before you even just continue, please. We had 21 shots and we had 3 on target. Bro, we had Nunes, Diaz, and Salah on the flipping field. And you're telling me before Nunes's obviously red card and that, even by the time we finished the game and how on top we were, we only had 3 shots on. Are you lot flipping stupid or something? Like, I don't even understand. Now you lot are getting me mad when I'm seeing stupid stuff like this. That's dumb. That is a dumb thing. How can you only have 3 shots on target? How? Sorry, Jerry. Go on.
And that shows me as well. Because if I'm remembering off the top of my head, Salah didn't shoot that much. Diaz didn't shoot that much.
Nunes had 5 shots.
Nunes Salah had 5 shots. You said
Nunes Salah had about 4. Salah had about 4 free shots.
Diaz probably about 2 or 3. I'm doing this.
Diaz had about 2 or 3. I think I've got it up. I've got Diaz's stats, so we'll get that up afterwards. But
I would like to know which shots were on target. That shows me we already know this, but that shows me
we only had 3, bro. So 1 was the goal, and the other 2 had to have been something else. we only scored 1 goal, and we only had 3 shots on target. One of them was the goal. After that, I don't even know.
Yeah, I think one of them would have been Nunes as well. But that just shows to me we're screaming out from goals in the midfield, especially because sometimes we can't pass our way to the goal. Sometimes just the lay it off. That's what we've missed in that. You know what? And we already know this, but since Coutinho, sometimes when we have Coutinho, there'll be low blocks, but you have the ability to drop a shoulder and just bend it into the far corner. We've missed that because what will then happen is if we had a player that could do that, you potentially had it in Ox, but he's never available. But when you have a player that can do that, let's say it's 0-0, it's a stalemate, and no one really is threatening. And out of Coutinho done it countless times. Out of the Blues, he scores a banger from long range. Remember he done it against Southampton, and remember he done it against Stoke one year. There's countless games, City, countless games he did it. What then happened is the team has to come at you, and then it suits us. It falls into our hand, and then it's no longer a low block because they're chasing the game. They're trying to salvage something from the game. That's why it's so important to have midfielders that not only can score, but at least that can get shots off target. But that's annoyed me as well, G man. That's annoying me. 3 shots on target.
Yeah, it's just not good enough. And that's the issue, because when you think about it, was our performance that much different to what we did last season when you actually think about it?
No. Nope.
It wasn't. It actually wasn't. And I mean, that's the one thing that gives me a bit of hope for the United game, is the fact that our performances haven't been as bad as theirs. Even though they haven't been up to par, in my opinion, the performance in terms of when you look at it, we're not playing any worse or better than we did last season. The difference is, for me, is the end result. It's the substance. Are you getting the 3 points? And we're not. And the maddest thing about it is that, and this is what's worrying me as well, is that every season, first game and second game, Salah's always scored. Yeah. Opening day and second day, Salah's always scored.
Like his own ritual.
I read a stat. I actually read a stat. He's never scored game week number 2, you know, Salah.
Oh, never scored game week number 2, sorry. But
number 1, he's always scored, yeah.
Sorry, you're right.
But see, I think it's 1 and 3. You're 1 and 3 is either or, but the second he's never has. I saw it today.
And it's like he hasn't scored. The system is a bit mad, and we'll get onto it, but he's not in positions to score as he was before because the system's had to adapt.
Yeah.
And
it's what I wanted because it creates space, but then our players aren't finishing.
I think also as well, even just by looking, and I see all the comments as well, like everyone's saying the same thing. Crystal Palace did it as well, obviously with what's his name, Gaeta, obviously wasting time and that, but long balls. Now our team isn't even, so when we do get this possession, or let's say when Crystal Palace have possession and stuff like that, they're just kicking it long now. So now all of our possession is really, obviously we might win the first header or not, second ball, whatever it may be. All of our possession is just there. And it seems like what teams are now doing is that literally kick the ball long. If you win the first ball, fantastic. Then we play from there. But that's probably not even their aim, if I'm being honest. They're probably looking at it thinking, you know what, we're probably not going to win it, especially if we kick it long to like one of the centre backs. So guess what? We just want to kick it long so we can get back into the shape. Obviously, while the ball is obviously in play, let's get back into our shape. That way, frustrate. Everybody in the Premier League and around Europe knows that Liverpool, as elite as we are, frustrate them. They don't create much. They're not a team who can open you up randomly and all that. That's not going to happen. You know what I mean? It never does. So they know now to just kind of sit in and just make sure that as long as they keep it tight enough, all move at the same time. If we need to come across, all these kind of little things, they're good to go. And we can't break these teams down at all. People keep saying, I saw a comment in there talking about, what we're asking for too much because we don't have possession. Not many teams have possession in the final third. You know, it's almost like impossible. And yes, to some extent, I could probably agree with that. But the problem is the possession that we are having, as Jerry said there, what was that? 57%. I think it says 57% that we're having in the middle of the pitch. I don't care. I don't want the ball in the middle of the pitch with players who are not that good on the ball anyway in the middle of the pitch. We need to get the ball to either the wide players or get the ball quicker to our front players. Stop dawdling on the ball. Stop taking 10 years to pass the ball. Stop stroking it around like we've got all day to do what we need to do. We need the goals quickly so that we can obviously calm ourselves down and then just play our football. We're not doing that.
And this is what us three were alluding to in the instant match reaction. It's about when people say Elliot had a good game. Yes, he did, but there wasn't no real end product with it. There wasn't no real progression with it because you can do the basics. Us three could pass sideways and keep the possession of the ball, and everyone called it a good game. But where's that penetration? Where's that final cutting edge pass? Do you know what I mean? I mean, to be fair, the things I'm about to say, he is young, but word to what Jerry said, that age in football is just a number. Like, if you're good enough, you play, and you need to show up. But that's why I'm not really buying all this. Elliot, and for me, Elliot just had a good game, but some people say amazing and man of the match. I'm just thinking, calm down, man, calm down.
No, you had a good game. I mean, we look at it again here as well, and you're looking at Liverpool XG and then opening play chances just below that, and we're seeing we've created from that right side though, like almost one chance.
Wow.
One XG chance, which isn't really good enough for the amount of possession that we've had, the amount of crosses Trent's spamming in. If I'm reading that correctly, that's not good enough at all.
Even remember what we alluded to, you lot. In the Palace Arsenal game, they kept doing that ball to Zaha. Obviously, Zaha was playing up front for them against us, but he was out on the far left against Arsenal. Even if you look at Crystal Palace XG open play chances, everything's through the middle. They didn't even have to do that ball. Everything was just through the middle. And that's worrying. That is worrying. And I know who it was coming from, because you lot would agree that Decore guy was just picking it up from his back three and just driving with it. There was a point where he glided past two of our centre mids, and I'm thinking, is it that easy to do that? Imagine when we come up against better opposition.
We're a turnover team. So we only, not only, that's a lie. One of our main output of goals is really when the other team is on the attack and we get the ball back and we kind of hit them. So if you want to call it counter-attacking, turnover, whatever you want to call it, either way, that's kind of where we like to get most of our goals, because they have so many players potentially up the other end of the pitch. When you're playing against 3v2 or 4v3, like obviously you got more players. So we've always got a man over, hence why we probably score quite a lot of goals from crosses and things like that, because we always have a man over. And even there, I can see it. Look, Liverpool attacks 15 on the left, 24 on the right, 17 through the middle. The 17 through the middle, though, is the one that I found quite interesting, because the way I looked at that was the way Nunes seemed like he was playing, he was dropping off bare times, taking pot shots all the time. It just seemed like, pick up the ball, let me just take a pot shot. Pick up the ball, let me just take a pot shot. And I was like, I mean, I don't know if that was the game plan, if that's how we're supposed to be using him. If it is, then cool. Then cool. That if that's the way you want to use him, it's not working, but cool, if that's your way. But I always thought that one of the main things about Nunes, or two of the main things, one is finishing, and two, his movement. I thought his movement was, and I'm seeing some of the movement, but it doesn't look like we know how to find him yet. It's Trent, ball over the top, but you got to realize these balls over the top, they're in the air. Like we have nobody around him. Nobody.
I think what you got to remember as well is that, hold on, sorry guys. What you got to remember as well is that with this, it's a thing where our midfield isn't set up in a way able to break teams down effectively from the center. It never has. Even when we had Coutinho never played down the center. It was off the left. The center for Klopp has always been the industry. We don't get breaking down in the middle. We mop up any spillages in the aisles. Do you know what I mean? We're the same with those type of workers. Our creativity comes from our wide forwards that come in and our fullbacks. So that's the problem, because essentially what you're doing when you think about it now is instead of having three midfielders potentially that can really create, three players, on a pitch that can really create for the front three, you've only got two, because the midfield aren't going to do it because of the positions that they're taking up. So whether it's an Elliot on the right, even if he's more progressive, the position he has to take up isn't as advanced as a De Bruyne, as a Gundogan, as an Odegaard, as an Emil Smith-Rowe. No, they're not. It's the fullbacks. The fullbacks are more advanced than anyone. We saw it in the game. There was a couple times, in one of the chances, Robber was in the centre forward position.
Yeah.
His body up to finish with his right foot.
Yeah.
It's because the fullbacks, and that's what we've traded off. That's what we've traded off. I'm going to say something, and I thought about this, and I was speaking to Nee, so big up Nee, but he's the Liverpool fan as well. Called in the TalkSport and stuff a couple times. And and it made me realize, and he's a coach as well, so big up that. But Liverpool are a team that since Klopp has come have always done everything on percentages. Everything's percentages. Winning the second ball. We're going to run more than you. We're going to be fitter than you. We're going to score more goals. We're going to win the ball more than you. Everything's percentage. The problem you have with that, these percentages are on the premise that these players can execute what Klopp wants from them to that standard. Yeah. The issue you've got, if Henderson drops off by 0.1% or 0.2%, he gets to the ball 0.2% slower. That then gives and let's say 0.1%, 0.2%, yeah, but it's just that player. Spread that across the team, that could be 5% more.
It's like a domino effect.
It could be 1%. That could be 5% more. And then what happens from there? Is the team are 5% less effective of winning the ball, or winning the second ball, or getting out to their man. Or when you're playing with a false nine, the fact that Bobby's legs drop off a bit, or the fact that he's just a bit more tired, he's not going to be able to be as effective.
Jerry, and this is why it's very naive from Klopp, because yes, you could do that 2-3 years ago, but this ain't even just personnel here. This comes with age. You're naturally gonna slow down. Do you know what I mean?
And if you're not, and the facts is that's exactly it, Roms. And what I struggled, and it clicked a light bulb in my head, and a light bulb kind of just sparked. You either then, and I've said it, change the system to accommodate the players you have. So we don't play as high a line anymore, because Van Dijk, and I guarantee you, if we were to get the percentiles up, Van Dijk is not as fast, not as agile as he was 2 seasons ago, even if it's 1 or 2%. And in elite sports, 1 or 2% is a massive thing.
Yeah.
A massive thing, because that's the difference between when you look at that Zaha goal, Van Dijk getting there and putting Zaha off, and Zaha opening his body up and binsing it in the bottom corner.
Yeah, time to do that.
No, but that's my point. Those are the differences. You either change the system, or you get new players to be able to go and do that, because you can go and tell 23, 24, 25-year-olds to go and run about like that, because we've seen it. Diaz, since he's coming, he presses like a madman. Jota presses like a madman. Elliot was pressing like a madman. If you talk about recoveries and stuff, he made one of the most recoveries in the game. Like you just said, G. All that type of stuff you can do when you're young. You can. As soon as it's never about young. The more mileage you've got in your legs, you won't be able to go and do that. Gundogan wouldn't be able to go and do that for Klopp. Klopp Gundogan was with Klopp when Gundogan was younger. Lewandowski, or Aubameyang, we had chances. Klopp could have easily got these players. Klopp had links with these players. If Klopp wanted them, he could easily grab these players. Klopp didn't get these players. Why? Because I guarantee you, the output that they would be able to give wouldn't be the same. They're a different type of player. The Aubameyang that was at Arsenal wasn't the Aubameyang that was in his first 1, 2, 3 seasons at Dortmund.
Fact.
So if that's the case, you need to change the players. You need to change the players. If you're going to, and I don't like this style of play. I don't enjoy it. I think it's chaotic. I think it's, like I said, based on percentiles, and it's just
Gary,
like,
you know why you're spot on as well? It just enhances injuries, because if you're keeping the same personnel and they're aging and you're still trying to play this exact same way, it's not sustainable. Like you hit the nail on the head. Van Dijk stops that Zaha goal 2-3 seasons ago. Easily. In my opinion, easily. Because again, like I said, 1 or 2%, we know he's dropped off at least 1 or 2. And like you said, in an elite sport, the disparity is crazy. But for me, if that's maybe the year we won the Champions League, or even the year we won the league, even just 2 years ago, Van Dijk actually stops that. But you're spot on, Jerry. You're spot on.
Mane comes out and talks about how living Liverpool is the best decision of his career. Not because he hated Liverpool, not because of that, because for 18 months, 2 years, he was seeing, even as he got to the point where he's seeing a psychotherapist talking about, why am I not performing at the level I was before? For the psychotherapist to go and tell him, maybe you actually need a change because what you're doing is mad. You're not going to... Mane at 24 is a different Mane at 30. It's a different Mane. He has to change his game. We spoke in the Crystal Palace preview, we spoke about Zaha. Zaha at 21, 22, 23 is completely different to the Zaha now.
Fact.
He's completely different. You can't... If you're going to go and play this way, and I don't enjoy it, you need to get the players to be able to go and do that and refresh. You see it with Guardiola. If he wants a certain type of football, if you're not giving him that output, you're at the club. You're out.
Look, Jerry, even his first...
No sentiment.
He just said, bye, you're gone, I don't need you. The fullbacks, Joe Hart. If you don't fit and cater to what you need, he wastes no time.
You just said Joe Hart. Sorry, you just said Joe Hart. That's the biggest one. This was a guy who was actually a good goalkeeper, though. Like, he's not like he's a shit goal. He was a good goalkeeper. But Pep said, I need a guy who can play with his feet, man. And you ain't it. Straight away, you're out of it.
That's the difference between Pep and Klopp. When we said this, the loyalty just clouds over Klopp's.
Yeah, 100%.
Because Pep knows if he needs something, he's getting it. He doesn't care who he upset. Look, even recent history, Ferran Torres, Sane, don't really want to be here. Okay, it's not no sentimental thing like, please stay. Oh, you're good though. We can still get from the years. All right, cool. Bye. I'll replace you. And have they faltered? Have they won less? They kept on winning. Klopp's not that. He keeps the loyalty towards these players that are aging, that can't still fit into what he wants to do. And now we're wondering why we're getting... You know what? The first question we ask is, why are we getting all these injuries? Through this convo, we basically answered the question.
and it's mad because and big up, hold on, was it Marquet that's gone and said this? Yeah. So big up, hold on.
Yeah.
So then this data-driven club is neglecting data, and that for me, and what it is, and I don't even think that that's the case. What I think it is the Klopp, Linda's the club are stuck, and I'm going to use G's catchphrase, catch 22. They're stuck. They're stuck because what's happened now, and this is my opinion, and if anyone disagrees with me in the comments, you guys please say, you know what, you're chatting rubbish. They're stuck between staying with the morals and the principles of the football team, the identity of the football team, which is pressing, intensity, running, pressing monsters, all those catchphrases that we talk about, those are embedded into that team. That's the identity of the team, no matter what. That doesn't change. The book that's just come out from Pep Linders wasn't possession, wasn't tiki-taka, it wasn't something else, wasn't defensive, wasn't solidarity, it was intensity. That is a key component of Liverpool.
Wait, that's the title of the book, isn't it?
The book, you know.
So those are the principles. Those are the principles of the club. But they're caught between that and understanding that they cannot maintain to play that way for two reasons. One, because the players get older, and you can't tell Henderson to keep running about like the way he has. And the second thing is teams have clocked on. Teams have clocked on, which is why everything's been half. And when you look at it, and I deeped it, we sign a Jota and they talk about pressing monster, but then we sign a Thiago, who isn't really a replacement for Gini. They're two completely different players, but is asked to replace his position in the squad, his placement as that one of the main three in the midfield. It defies logic. It doesn't make sense. We're trying to we go and buy Darwin, that type of striker, but we don't have any midfielders, as you said, to go and find him properly. It's still Trent whipping in balls or whatever. All this type of stuff is the club's caught in this kind of limbo. Our squad's the oldest in the league, but we're signing these young players, but they're not ready to really play. So we're still relying on the old players, but the old players are injured. Now, it doesn't make it really doesn't make sense. And there has to, and I keep saying this, there has to either be a focus on this is our identity, and once you hit 27, 28, you're out the door, because you can't keep maintaining. Once you're at the club for 4 years, you're out. Of course, there are certain differences. There's like a Salah, that's an anomaly. His numbers will be similar, but once you hit a certain age, you're out the door, because you can't do what we're requiring of you. The problem is the club can't do that because of the model. So then they're asking Klopp to change from his principles, but he's not going to change from his principles. So now we're effed, because what's going to give?
You know what? Smash the lights, people. This is.
I was going to even say we can end the show right here, to be honest, because Jerry's literally said everything that needed to be said. Bro.
I thought this, but the way Jerry's deciphering and breaking it down, wow.
Like everything. Like I'm going to try and see if I can find this comment from Trudon. Here it is. And I agree with you, Trudon. I haven't really. You know what? I'm even going to take the word wild. Forget even being wild. I don't think we've been that good since those 2 seasons. And hearing Jerry there and speaking about it, I can understand now. 17-18, 18-19, then 19-20, we won the Premier League. In that 3-year cycle, you could see it was building. Since we've won that Premier League, as Jerry alluded to, about this whole cycle and players getting older, you could tell when we won the league, the energy, obviously it took a lot out of us, COVID, all of these things obviously happened. So they do play a little part, obviously, in what happened. But you could just see from that moment that we won the league, we were just spent. That it's like the team had used up all of their Super Saiyan power. There is no more spirit bomb to try and draw the power from the people. It's done now. It's literally all done now.
The word you're looking for, we just peaked. We simply
we peaked. We peaked, which is fine, which is absolutely fine. I don't mind us peaking in a 3-year cycle, but I don't see us being able to peak for 5 years, 6 years. You can't peak for that long. You need to freshen up. And Jerry's right. You need to freshen up the team.
The United teams have done it, and it's the best teams have always done that. And look, we know. You're saying surely this would show the lactate test. If your levels are less, then surely they would identify guys who are declining. Yeah, they would. But guess what? If you've got a trade-off, right? If someone's declining just by 1%, yeah, and it's the lactate test. First of all, sorry, I don't know if you guys know, but a lactate test doesn't really, it suggests your fitness, but it doesn't really translate to a football pitch. Exactly. Mo Farah would blitz every man in a lactate test. He would blitz it. But I'm telling you now, we've seen Mo Salah when it comes to UNICEF. Someone drops the shoulder, the ability to recover and get back into position, he'd be gone. I've seen Chunks drop the shoulder in it.
You know what?
but that's what I'm trying to say. I've seen Chunks drop the shoulder.
Chunks.
It's not about like and big up, we know, because a lot of people might not know. So I'm not even trying to go and say, but the lactate test, it suggests whether you have the endurance to go and carry on doing the game. So no, Sarah might not get like Henderson might not get tired. He might. Milner doesn't get tired. But what it is, the ability for him to get out to a ball, and beat that press and then get back and then adjust his feet accordingly. Do you know what I mean? So to get in position for when Foden's attacking him, those small percentages make the difference. Because if someone's operating at 100% and you drop off by 1%, you might defend them 9 times. And that one time they come inside you and it's over. And we saw it with Verge.
just to add on to what you're saying, Jerry, yeah,
Interesting.
because
I can't
I did this for I did sports science for A level and whatnot. So I'm happy you've actually mentioned. Big up yourself, Mark 8, for mentioning that tape. So there's a bit of science to this, yeah. The thing is that Henderson and the Milners would drop into that the long distance runners. Their aerobic fitness is wonderful, but when it comes to that anaerobic fitness and sprints over a certain amount of distance, they're not it. And that's more accustomed to football. Yes, the Hendos and the Milners won't get tired as such, but if you ask them to do, let's say a player beats them, you ask them to do that 50, 60 meter sprint, they're not accustomed to that. Well, because it's even like back in school, right, Jerry? Have you realized a lot of the cross country winners weren't good in the 100-meter sprints?
Yeah, they're not.
Either good at one or the other. Like me, I'll be real. My cross country long distance running was poor, but on 100 meters, I was running 11.74 at the age of 14. So I'm quite quick when it comes to straight, but my aerobic isn't the best, and that's literally what the likes of Hendo and Milner and older players are like. They are fit, they don't get tired, but they don't have that burst and that acceleration that you need over a sustained period within a football match. And it's shown, especially the way we play.
And what you got to remember as well, it's little things. For instance, I can go and tell you, and that's why I said I could last 45 minutes, is that in terms of fitness, if someone told me, yeah, just like run from here to wherever and just run at your pace, I'll be able to go and do it and I won't stop, right? But a problem is, if I started went and I done like sprint here and then slow down, then sprint there, I might even be okay. I might after a minute, my heart level might drop down and I might be fine in terms of my aerobic fitness. But my muscles, the ability for my muscles to recover, that's a completely different topic, because your legs become heavy, and that's what it is. And you see it with Milner. Look, G, you said it yourself in that game. Milner looked a bit leggy.
Yeah,
but I guarantee you, Milner, if they checked his stats, his height, his blood pressure, his heart rate, everything would have been dropped after 10 seconds. But in the game, he's gonna look leggy. And for me, that's the problem Liverpool have got, is that everything we've done, and it's even our model, everything's based on percentages. This player is performing. All right, Sander Berger, we could get in, but if you look at his, I know he's not as good as, or he's not as touted as a Modric, right? But if we, or a Casemiro, but we look at it, and if you look at the team he's playing in, percentage-wise, he's doing this. So if we can get him in, and that percentage, we can increase it by 2%. It means his output is more or less the same as a Casemiro's, and we can get him on a cut price. That's how our model works. If anyone knows about how the American models work in sports, that's how it is. That's why if anyone's into American sports, that's why the combines are so important. That's why they monitor how high you can jump, your sprints, your max 100 kg reps, all of that in every sport. And I'm talking about basketball players, NFL players, everything, because those percentages matter in American sports. And we've taken that and moved that over to in like football. Now, yes, it does work. It does work, guys. It does. But when the percentages start to drop off, you need to be cutthroat, because they're not going to have the same output. But football's not the same as a basketball. You can't make 5 changes like that in a team. Do you know what I mean? You can't. You can't just trade up a whole team.
Guys, smash a like, please. Smash a like. I'm big.
Stuck.
Jerry's dropping some gems today, man, because everything you're saying here, that's why I'm speechless, like, because everything you're saying, to be honest with you, it's all factual. It's all factual. And I didn't even, I did kind of think of about when you just said the last thing there about everything's obviously done on percentages. And as you said, obviously in American sports, basketball, as we know, they live and die by stats and percentages, like rebounds and all those kind of, like, that is like religious over there. Whereas we might not really, in the general football world, we don't really care about, oh, are you keeping up with your defensive stats and all these kind of things. But it seems like, as you said, with FSG and the model that they've obviously brought over here, no, I totally agree, man. Which is funny, because as you said, it's a cycle. It is literally a cycle. And the problem that it seems like we're having then is, because of this model, unless you are able to sell a Van Dijk for however much to then be able to get in another centre half of not equal quality, but just another centre half in who can again put in those percentages that we would need, you keep a Van Dijk. I just use Van Dijk as an example. I wouldn't sell him, but Salah, Mane again, we had to let him go. We would have had to have let him go. Yes, the contract would have been one of the main things, but again, you probably would have had to let him go, because we saw how his output was over the last 18 months. After that year that we won the Champions League, I don't even think he was that good the year we won the Premier League. I don't feel like he was that as good as he was in the year that we won the Champions League. That was Mane at his ultimate peak form. And then slowly, and it is funny because it is only by probably a 1 or 2%, because he wasn't shit for the, throughout his last like year or two here. No way. He was still good, but he was nowhere near that level that he hit the year that we won. Nowhere near that level. And it was only off by a little bit. So everything you're saying about the percentages is making a bit of sense.
And then you compare that to a City team, and those are our main rivals because we are that good. Yeah. The City team is different. It's focused on coaching. And what I mean by coaching is not just getting players to understand the system and telling players. It's the coaching and the nurturing of ability, or just ability. And the problem is ability is ability. That you can only be like, when you look at City only get a certain profile of player. If you look at every player, Ederson,
they are all technically sound.
Everyone is technically sound. Everyone,
every single one.
To a T. We have players where even me, I love Salah, I love Mane, and the output might get them in
I know you're going to say
the City team,
but
their ability wouldn't have got them in the City team.
100%.
Technically, there's no.
Never sign a Salah or Mane, regardless how world class, how wicked they've been. He just doesn't fit into. They just don't fit into what he's about. 100%, Jerry. He just wouldn't.
And you saw it, and that's why there was this whole conundrum. And that's why Sterling couldn't ever get settled in a City team, because Sterling is someone that didn't have the technical ability of some of the other players, but because of his rapid pace, was a threat. So what did Pep start to do? From what he did at Barca, where the wide players were very wide, and Henry spoke about how I used to just stand on the touchline and not touch the ball. And even when the ball went in the box, I didn't get into the box. I just stayed on the touchline, right? And allowed the midfielders to go through, which we're essentially seeing now with Grealish and Mahrez, right? We're seeing that. Sterling was the one who got in the box. A la Salah, a la, Mane. That's exactly what you're seeing. And the difference is when you rely on ability, and I'm talking about ability, that stuff doesn't wane. So when output starts to drop off by a bit, your ability doesn't, because there's a focus on the ability. There's a focus. The reason why a Modric can play the way he can is that there's a focus on his ability. It's a focus on your ability with the ball.
Just to your Sterling thing, that's why you got to rate him so much, because Jerry, deep it, Sterling's technical ability wasn't even all that, but through his tenure under Pep, I saw him against Chelsea, against Everton, and his technical ability was leaps and bounds better than the rest of the Chelsea players, in my opinion. It just goes to show how Pep, he didn't even suit, let's say, Pep's technical players, but how much he improved under Pep. I'm seeing a Sterling now, which I am now calling him technically good. Honestly, I never used it. His days at us and whatnot were a bit raw, but that's how much Pep nurtured him. Because let's be honest, in our team, someone might disagree with Tsimikas, but other than Tsimikas, Thiago, Fabio Carvalho, they're probably the only three type of
technical
players. Yeah.
Which is quite funny.
Could possibly put in that there, but Carvalho to a T, because Simi, I think people don't realize how technically good he is. Again, his engine isn't what you could argue. His engine isn't like Robbo's, but actually keeping the ball in little turns, and you can tell he's technically sound. But you're spot on when you're saying that, Jay, because sometimes Liverpool fans say, Pep would, Salah and Mane will get into a Pep team, whatnot. If you're basing it off what they've done, yes, but if you're basing it off the type of player they are, never.
Because I feel like Pep would have tried to buy one of those, and I feel like even now, I'm not saying he isn't that technically good, but I feel like Fernan Torres, Sane, yes, I know they're good strikers of the ball and stuff like that, but I wouldn't call them as technical as a Grealish or a Mahrez and players of that kind of thing. Sane maybe
say that, but even Sane and Ferran Torres, in terms of if you went and said, guys, just do the basics and show me how you pass the ball. Everything's technical with them. Everything is.
Of course.
They might not be all flary. They might use their pace a bit more because Sane's got pace. But we've seen with Sane, everything's about. Even the way Salah strikes a ball, it doesn't look the same way. What's it called? A Thiago strikes the ball. When Thiago strikes the ball, that's the best example I can use within our team. Yeah, the way Thiago strikes the ball, you can see the technique is there.
You know what, Jerry?
their technique to get over the ball. Salah's technique isn't like that. Mane's technique isn't like that. Why? We focus on the percentages. Let's go and get someone that's very, very fast, very, very strong, very, very explosive. If we can mold that within our system and they can just improve a bit, if we can max out those percentages, it doesn't matter how technically good you are because we're going to bum rush you out of it. We're going to be faster and stronger than you.
It's
That's what basketball is. That's what basketball is.
You know what's crazy? Arguably City's biggest legend. What did Pep do with Aguero? Because Aguero's not technically the best. That's why in some of the big games, we saw him dropped. And everyone's like, if you know your football, you know why Pep dropped him. Everyone's like, oh my God, how can you drop your highest ever goal scorer, your legend? Because he didn't fit Pep's mold. Pep didn't care. And he had to paper over the cap. Remember his crocodile tears? We cannot replace him. We cannot. Deep down, he was doing cartwheels. He couldn't wait until Aguero left.
The reason why I used like a Sane and like a Fernan Torres is, obviously I know they are obviously Sane could dribble, but they were a lot more direct than Mahrez, than a Grealish, than a whoever. Like they were all about the pace, get the ball down the line, but because they were so rapid, obviously you can use them in different ways. They were like a better version of a Sterling, shall we say, kind of thing, where their pace is going to get them in there regardless. But obviously Sane is a lot more technical than, say, a Raheem Sterling. But if you look at the players that they've got, even now when you look at them, I think to myself, right, these guys are Grealish, Mahrez, who else started on it? Foden. These are technical ballers. Foden's not rapid, to my knowledge. He's fast, but he's not rapid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he would easily get into the team because he can do exactly what they need.
The likes of, I don't want to make this into Pep, but that's why there's a whole thing that's Pep like make you robotic and kind of take away your qualities. That's why the Sanes and the Ferrans want to leave, because they want their natural game is to beat players and one-on-ones, but Pep's telling them no, hold on to the ball, intricate passing, 1-2. They're thinking, cool, I've been successful, I've won a few league titles, I want to go to a team where I can actually express myself. You know what I mean? That's why they probably wanted to leave.
Yeah, and that's why when with us getting players like Van Dijk, us getting players like Thiago, it's been a breath of fresh air, because these are players that could fit into a Pep system. We've spoken about it. When Thiago came in, the reason why we're talking about, you know what, Thiago, and people are saying Thiago doesn't really fit into what Liverpool do. It's because it's evident to see the type of midfielder one. Look at the profile of midfielder we're going to get. We've not gone somewhere in Spain and said, that's why when people are talking about Gavi and Pedri, Liverpool are never going to get that.
I put that with a pinch of salt.
It's Sander Berger, it's Bellingham, it's players that are athletic, can run, got engines.
Yeah,
those are the types of midfielders. Thiago's the first midfielder we ever bought, which was like, what is this gem? Like, what is this? I mean,
Sorry, I had to put out. When I saw it, I started busting up. I was thinking, because as Jerry was talking, I was like, you're naming Bob the Builder type of players, bro.
Bro, just to add on to what Jerry's saying, it's just so evident. Look at some of the midfielders we're always linked with, the Scott McGinns, the Jacob Ramseys, just the energy, just the engine midfielders. It's never like the technical nice balls. And the one that was staring us in the face this summer has literally just gone to Wolves.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But even him, the type of profile of midfielder he isn't a Modric, he isn't an Iniesta, a Xavi. And I know these are world-class players, but he's not a Jorginho. He's not these players when you're talking about like technical ability. And I'm not trying to say Jorginho is going to be the one for our team. Clearly not. Like I'm not saying that. But in terms of that technical ability, those are the types of players. Those are the types of players that we don't look at because they don't fit the profile of what we want, which is fine. But then you need to go and sign the players that can accommodate your system. That's why buying a Thiago, it's like a half and half thing. It's like you buy a Thiago because you want a brother to be a bit creative, but he's playing alongside players that are not really like that because they're a bit more runners. And so Klopp's like Thiago's now to change his game and become a bit more of a runner. And he's spoken about the fact that he spoke about the fact Klopp's taught me how to run. Do you know what I mean? Like, these types of things do you know what I mean? We're caught right now, and we're paying the price for it because we're playing the high line with players that we're not as effective at playing the high line, and it's percentages. Even when we play the high line, and I've been saying it's mad. I'm speaking, and I'm like, It's all coming out, bro. We play the high line, right? Why do we play the high line, Roms?
To catch teams out and to catch them offside.
But hold on. But before VAR,
No, not even just that. Not even just that. We play the high line as well to encourage the pressing and to get the ball back within the opposition's half as quick as possible.
listen, just as I've gone and said, yeah, and you're right. It's to press teams up and catch them out. But we can't play the way we do without VAR. We can't. We can't play. We didn't have VAR. I'm not kidding you guys.
You're right. You're right.
If they came up against, listen, big up Showtime and big up Lippy, yeah? If they come up against Showtime and Lippy and they try to play a high line and one of them played the ball over and Van Dijk went, Lino. He look around, bruv, and it'll be a fat brother with a bib in his hand saying it's onside.
Right,
and he's it through. And the teams are through.
It's true.
The teams are through. We're playing the percentages. We know for a fact, if we play a high line long enough, let's look at the data, and I guarantee you they put it into a computer, it comes out. 89% of the time, our line's this good, so we catch them offside. Great. The other, do you know what I mean? 11%. Do you know what I mean? So 89%. The other 11% are Van Dijk and thing. Well, with the other 7%, Van Dijk and stuff are going to recover. The 2%, Alisson's got a percentage is shot stopping of 5% per shot or whatever. So that takes out that bit. And then you got 1% chance of scoring against Liverpool. That's how we've played. It hasn't been about can we control, physically control games. It's playing the percentages. There's VAR. Go on then. That's why, and that's why in our prediction, in our what's it called? Roms in Saints' player ratings. I went and said, I can't tell Nat Phillips. I can't say Nat Phillips, you're doing the wrong thing because he's trying to play that offside. He's doing what Klopp's asked him for. Van Dijk did the same thing because naturally, if that's a Sunday league, Van Dijk covers.
Yeah, 100%.
Where number 47 is, when that ball was played in down the side of what's Phillips, yeah. So in between the number 66 where Trent is and Phillips, Van Dijk covers. Van Dijk covers and sweeps that ball away and kicks it out. Connor Cody does it for Everton and for Wolves every single game. Every single game. Liverpool don't do that because we play percentages. It's the percentage game. So when it don't work, when the percentages are off, you're gonna reap the rewards of that as well. You just are. And I'm sorry, I'm rambling on, but I'm getting mad as I'm speaking.
No, but you're speaking facts, bro.
Why do I get it and these guys don't?
It's facts because you know what? You're so right. Without VAR, cool. Let's say we played like this 10 years ago. We're conceding an extra 30. I honestly mean an extra 30, 40 goals a season, you know.
Facts.
Honestly.
Facts.
It's only that we're actually fortunate for VAR.
Yeah, no, we're smart. What they've done, and
I was going to say, it's just smart.
They've looked at the technology that's come in, and they've said, well, how can we use that technology to our advantage as opposed to a disadvantage in the final third, which it is sometimes, because sometimes you're on by just a sleeve, where before it would have been a goal. We've seen it. We've seen it. Bruv, anyway.
I think, listen, this has been a masterclass by Jerry. I can't even lie. Like, you taught me quite a lot, honestly. But
this is free. You're not getting this on any other.
Yeah. This is free shit, bro. Like, and it's even just everything you're saying. Obviously, talking about like the high line as well. I'm just looking at it and thinking, yeah, it is smart. It would have been smart from Pep Linders or whoever came up with the idea of thinking, how can we use this to our advantage? And guys, Jerry's not sitting here saying that everything we have done, just because it's worked on percentages, that it's not working, so to speak. Obviously, it has worked because we're a good team and we're in this position, so to speak. But these things do drop off. And if we're a team who works on data and percentages, if there is even a 1 or 0.1% of a drop off, it will become very, very visible. Very, very
guys. And before we leave, and before we move on to the next thing, we speak about Crystal Palace, and then we move on to there's obviously I got stuff on Diaz as well, which is quite interesting as well. We're gonna chop up. Is if we are 1%, if we drop off by 1% every game, yeah, in a season, yeah, 1% sounds minuscule, right? It sounds minuscule. 1% is nothing in a game. 1% doesn't make a difference. Over 38 games, that's 38%. That's 38%. So if you're performing at 100%, if by the end of if you're dropping off by 1% every game, you have dropped off by 38% by the end of the season. That's the difference. And when you're competing against a team like a City, that are achieving such high numbers, and are trying to maximize their percentage in their own way in terms of possession and all that stuff, because they will do the data as well.
Of course.
They go and refresh the squad. We can't be caught in limbo where we're trying to keep players and play a certain way, but get players that don't really fit our system. And we've done it with Minamino. We had Origi and didn't play him, and then we got Nunes, but Origi and Nunes at this moment in time, is there a real difference apart from hunger and intensity?
They don't want to have that conversation.
It's mad.
That's not a conversation Liverpool fans want to have, because if
Bro, the word for it is naive, Jerry. The word for it is naive.
It's naive. And then Jamrock, as he's saying here, look, the high line is only smart until you play the percentages wrong in the wrong game, and then it's crap. You play the high line in the final after getting it right pre-final, and then
what game it was so evident. So evident. At this point of this season, I don't want to hear we had injuries, because we didn't at this point. You know what game epitomizes everything you're saying, Jerry? The 7-2 against Villa.
Yeah.
A good 60% of their goals were literally, let's beat this offside trap. Dijk was playing. I think Gomez was part of him. Gomez or Matip was one of them. But we had a strong team. We hadn't got these before. Exactly. I think it was our strongest team.
Fabinho was playing. Salah.
Everyone's playing. Everyone's playing.
We didn't have a plethora of injuries at that point, because that was early in the season. So that game epitomizes what Jerry's saying.
Yeah. But this is what it is. Look, KZ, and look, what you're saying, I agree. Nat Phillips in the Highland doesn't make sense, right? I don't give a damn what the computer says. It's not smart. Facts. But guess what Klopp says in the post-match interview? Oh, I mean, look, we done really well, and then if you think about it, we were in the right position. You look, and then we had the first, the first press. We had Arnold, we had Trent and Fab, and obviously they broke through that. So obviously we don't want that, and that usually doesn't happen. But then we've got two players in the back with Verge and Phillips. So we had that, and then I mean, it was the first counter attack, wasn't it? So I mean, yeah, it was just unlucky, guys. He's telling you that they've had one chance. That he's telling you they had one chance, and we're sacrificing the one chance, bro. I tell you, when I go and play fives, and I'm telling you, this is a tactic that I use, and I play five-a-side, and I've gone nationals playing five-a-side. When you play five-a-side, I go and say anything in their half, don't press, let them pop shots. Because they're going to have to go and smack through the five of us that are at the back. And if we're all compact, they're not going to find the man. If I'm chasing the man in fives and he's going into the corner, I'm telling him, take the shot. Because 9 times out of 10, he's going to get the ball away unless he scores a worldie. And I tell you that. Let him score from there. Send him out wide. Let him pop the shot from there. Don't let him cut inside. Bro, these are facts. These are facts. People play percentages. But he's telling us that this is it. He said it. Like he said it. Do you know what I mean? And that's
people ask, do you know more than Klopp? Like, how do you know? Hey, Jerry might just do, Jerry might just do, because everything
I love it. Well,
is crazy.
If everyone has been here just watching the show for the past month or two, Jerry's a centre back, so this is just free gospel. How Jerry's viewing things. I'm a forward. Jerry's the other end of this pitch to me. I'm not viewing things like this. So even forget just us streaming and giving you that content. I'm learning as well. I'm not seeing this from like a centre back's point of view.
Bro, like Rom, I'm telling you, if we're playing fives and we're doing it, and I'm standing in the middle, I'm sending you out wide as much as possible. As soon as you get to the thing, I'm stepping back. Have your shot. Because, bro, if the keeper's standing near post, you're not going to score. You're not going to score.
You know why you're spot on? Because when I play fives, I do press like a madman, and it's just pockets. They're just picking it up in other pockets.
Bro, and you get the ball. When you get the ball, and you know what I mean, you're running at me, you take me on, you take the ball out wide. If you take the ball out wide, turn it to corner, I'm not even pressing you out there, because you're going to have to play it back anyways. Why am I forcing you out and taking myself out of position? That's mad. Van Dijk does the same thing. It's throughout the team. It's percentages. Van Dijk, you know what? I'm going to wait here, and I'm just going to go here, because go on. You're not going to shoot from here then. We got Ali in goal. Shoot.
Then the one time he let that happen.
That's my point. He does shoot, and you've seen it. He does shoot. Whereas back in the day, you'd see a Terry sliding in, do you know what I mean? As the players having to chop it back and stuff, but our team doesn't do that. Because it's percentages. If you do that and concede a foul, what's the percentage of you conceding a foul? How often are fouls? These are the details they're getting into, guys. These are the details. But guys, Crystal Palace, man. Let's look at the stats before we move on to Diaz and stuff. Let's just go through this quickly. Possession 29%, as we said. 7 shots on target. They're averaging 43%. Do you know what I mean? On shots on target with the 3 shots. So they were quite clinical, to be fair. Very, very, very clinical. You're looking at their possession by third, and it was in the middle of the pitch, 44%. And at the back, which is actually mad when you think about it. They came to Anfield and 44% of the ball was actually in the middle. So we didn't really do anything. We were just keeping the ball in the middle between ourselves.
Pointless possession.
With suits as well.
Yeah, of course.
Look, we're looking here. Crystal Palace attacks, 8 of their attacks came on that right side as well, which is mad. So Ayu was actually doing the job. So we were right, G.
I told you about Ayu. I told you.
We spoke about Ayu.
I told you. He's a player that would suit that kind of game because he is that type of player, defensive forward, if you want to call him that, or winger.
And then you look at this. You look at Crystal Palace XG open play chances is 0.68. 0.68. So it's only 0.2% better than Liverpool.
0.2, you know, that is, and again, these are just fine margins. Guys, we drew the game. You know. And these are the fine margins between winning, losing, draw. Like, we literally drew the game. And look at the fine margins between us and them in this game. It's actually crazy.
It's mad. And you can... Oh, my bad, guys. Did I zoom in? Can you guys hear me, though?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool.
I can see it clear as well. Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'll clear it. All right, cool.
Yeah,
so I'll zoom in for now anyway. So, hold on. Sorry, guys. Some technical issues. We're all learning how to use the StreamYard. Hold on. It's not even working anymore. Oh, there we go. Cool. There we go. So as we see here, like even just the players in general, like you're looking and look, it is that low block like we spoke about. Zaha's the only one, number 11, who was actually in their half comfortably. You had Ayu, who's number 9, just kind of half cheating or whatever. But who's down that side of Robbo? So I guess he's trying to test in Robbo. Go on, Robbo, you're going to get back more. You can see obviously Eze tucked in real narrow. So you can see that position there, as opposed to Eze being out wide. He's tucked in because he knows Trent is coming in. He knows Trent is coming inside. Yeah. So when you look at it, they've got that 3. Trent's got that 3 to beat. It's Mitchell. Obviously, Salah will be with Mitchell, but sometimes it will be Mitchell, it will be Schlupp and Eze on that right hand side. You can see how tight that right hand side is. There's no space. Compare that to the other side. Look at the space.
Real talk, yeah. It's so tight. Yeah. Look at that on the right hand side, or our left hand side, should I say so?
Down where the number 2 it's mad. It's mad when you think about it. It's mad. But let's move on to
Jerry, I got a bounce now.
I know you got a bounce, man. But where can the guys find you? Hey, listen, before Roms heads out, sorry. Congrats, Roms, on the new addition to Klopp Zone.
Yeah.
And a new long-term deal. Do you know what I mean?
Come on, that it means more content. Obviously, as Klopp Zone team I've not met, but it's even more content with Jerry and G, man. So yeah, it's a blessing, man. It's a blessing. But yeah, that's all my socials, and that's where you can find me. And Guna Lee, my last 5 going to Anfield were all wins, so I wasn't the bad luck. It just happened to.
No way, we see the comments.
No, listen, everyone. Before I go, smash them nuts because this is gospel. You're not gonna get another LSC channel breaking this down how Jerry has and G. So come on, man. But love for having me again, bro.
I'll hit you up, bro.
Appreciate it, man. Guys, we're on 44 likes here. Just some housekeeping. If we can get to 50, that will be massive. Because I know that, like, do you know what I mean? Like, these are big things. Like, as I said before, massive, like shouts because we've surpassed 300 subs as well. So it means that myself, G, Roms, Ash, the main people that have been on the channel, as well as everyone that's added. So Jack, Ish, there's been loads of us. We've all contributed. So big up to everyone, man. Yeah, let's just add this in. Hold on. What's going on? There we go. Cool. So Luis Diaz, man.
You know what? Actually, put it up for the people to see in the big screen. They had it before. Yeah. Because I think people were even reading it as well.
Can I move this? I can't. All right, cool. People are reading it. If people can see that, that's cool. We'll go and talk in there. Now, as you can see, guys, Luis Diaz. Arguably, probably our man of the match. Would you say that, G?
Yeah, I had him down on my man of the match.
Now, what would you say changed? Because in that first half, obviously in the group chats and stuff, you were quite like adamant that he was not performing. You weren't happy with the performance and all of that. What do you think changed in the game that made you have that changed him from being someone that could have potentially got slated by the end of the game if you consider his first half performance? And in the second half, at the end of that game, you're looking at him thinking, yeah, he's man of the match.
It was just purely, it seemed like when we went down to 10 men, now for the first time since probably we signed Diaz, we got that Diaz back. We didn't get, so what everybody likes is that, a player comes into the team, as Klopp said, he couldn't really tactically tell him much because one, he couldn't speak the language and we were kind of midway through an important season. So we just kind of said, you know what, go out and play your game. We saw the true Diaz in the first 6 months or 3-4 months last 3 months of the Premier League season. Yeah. Since this beginning of the season, and I knew it was going to happen, when you put a player like that into a system, you absolutely nullify what he's actually good at. And that's exactly what was happening in the first game. I felt it was exactly the same. Yes, he had shots. He's going to have shots. That's the type of player he is. So that's not going to change about Diaz. But his actual gameplay completely, for me, has completely changed in comparison to, if you remember his first 4 or 5 games that we saw Diaz. The first 4 or 5 games we saw Diaz, this guy looked like, even against Chelsea in the cup final or the Carabao Cup final, flicking the ball over Reese's head, doing little tricks, doing these little kind of small things, but getting himself into great positions to be able to obviously hurt the opposition. Now we're seeing a system player. So we're seeing the guy who is having to do this pressing, having to, make sure he passes the ball in certain areas. And we can see at the moment, it might come. At the moment, Robbo and Diaz do not have a good relationship at this present moment in time.
It's bad.
It's bad. But I felt that it was better when he first came because Robbo almost had that kind of thing of, to be honest, I'll just give him the ball, let him do what he does. And then if he needs backup, I'll back him up in that kind of sense. Now he's being asked to do the Mane role on that left-hand side. So it's almost like they haven't really even built up a proper connection. We are taking away from his game. Why? Because obviously the system doesn't really permit for free role players. Do you get what I'm saying? And the worst thing about it, he plays on the left wing, which is a place where we kind of need you because of the system. We kind of need you to be able to do what the system tells you to do. Look at most of his game. We can see here on the heat map. Look at most of his game was literally played, obviously, left-hand side. And then obviously, as we went down to 10 men, I can only assume that's when he then started to get a bit more in the middle. But if I'll see if we ever find it, like the first half stats in comparison to the second half stats, I guarantee you're not going to see the same heat map. I guarantee you're not going to see the same heat map. Why? Because why would you see the same heat map? The player we had in the first half was totally different to the player that we had when Núñez obviously got himself sent off. And I think to myself, why would you want to nullify someone of that ability? Like, why would you want to do that? It doesn't make any sense. We've seen what he can do when you just give him almost that free role. Let him keep doing that. And I don't quite understand as to why we're just fitting all of these players into just system. We're taking something away from their natural game. And you're going to see it over the season. As Jerry said before, if in a season you're only dropping off by 1% each game, that's 38% that you drop off. So regardless of anything, over time, we've seen Diaz be the Diaz that we knew from Porto to the Diaz that we're seeing today. So, yeah, I just find it kind of weird. Like that first half, I was sitting there watching Diaz and thinking to myself, yo, Diaz, you were absolutely crap. Like you weren't doing anything that I needed you to do. You're trying to dribble here, dribble there, coming inside. But when you're coming inside, it's then leaving a space out there on the left-hand side. Robbo was coming inside. The whole game was basically played through the middle, which was starting to piss me off because I was like, I thought we were a team who played on the wings, not through the middle. We don't have really middle players to kind of do that. But
you say that, but our forwards have always gone really narrow though, and that's
our forwards go really narrow. But remember,
our fullbacks are coming narrow now as well. Everyone's coming narrow. You're right.
But it's like this is at the end of the transition. At the end, that's when everyone is kind of coming in. But when we're starting to build up, Trent's always on the right-hand side. Robbo, again, obviously, once we're starting to move in, everyone starts to move in as one. And then we obviously try to pop it about. If someone's then free on the right or on the left, cool. But even just to that, and I know we keep talking, but we have to kind of refer to them anyway, because that's our rivals. When you look at Manchester City, I think me and you were speaking when they played against West Ham. Yeah. And I remember I kept showing you, I said to you, look at the way when Cancelo has the ball, obviously he was playing left back, so obviously we know he's going to cut in anyway. But when Cancelo had the ball and he would cut in, what did Grealish do?
Stay wide.
What did Gundogan do?
Make the run into the gap.
So if you do that, you create the chaos that we love so much, we love this whole chaos football. It created chaos. Because now you've got to deal with either Grealish, either I can't remember who's playing right back. He's got to worry about that guy on the right hand side, obviously to his right. He's still got to worry about Cancelo running in alongside Declan Rice, obviously worrying about whoever's running in. Then Declan Rice has now got the issue of this guy running in, Gundogan running beyond me, so maybe I've got to pass him to the centre-back. The centre-back's now got to worry about Haaland running through like he did for the penalty, or he's then got to worry about Gundogan running into the exact same space. That is what you call controlled chaos. That is the real definition of controlled chaos, because it didn't even look messy. It looked completely like that's exactly what they were trying to do. Obviously, we know that's what they were trying to do, but it looked like that's what they wanted to do. But all the players are more or less in the same position. So really, if you try to teach that to a Sunday league team, it might probably not go the same way, because everyone will be running into each other's channels and things like that. But with Manchester City, you're seeing it. The movement, even though you want to play a bit more narrow, you still need to understand that players need to come wide. Then you need a midfielder to go beyond the lines. You need then your striker to be on his toes, so he can then potentially drag that centre back or drag the back line even further back. It's I'm saying, I was going to say it's simple stuff. I know it's not simple. I'm not sitting here saying that Pep Guardiola football is the easiest football to understand. I know it's not. I've heard Carl Walker talk about it, but he is able, as Jerry has alluded to many times during the stream, the players that you have, you need to be able to find a style and a system that will work for the players that you do have, instead of trying to keep playing the same bloody way that we have been playing for the last God knows how long. Because clearly we're seeing it now, it is not working properly. It's not working properly. Whether because the players are old, whether because they're tired, it doesn't matter. It's not working. Either you buy players that it will then start working, or stop playing the system.
Exactly. I mean, big up Liverbird as well. Hold on. Big up Liverbird saying here, look, Luis was freed after the red card rather than everyone trying to find Darwin. That's what it was. And I don't think it was even that. I think the structure of what the players were supposed to do really changed, because it wasn't the same. So then you would see, and I mean, it's just a thing where Diaz is just, running, pressing, getting the ball, winning it. And because he was able to do that, the ability, he's got the innate ability, can win you a game. And we've seen it with Mane, we've seen it with Salah, we've seen it with Bobby at times. Earlier on, we've seen it with our top players. They can just go and pull out and win you a game because they are world class. They are that good. At moments, they have moments where they are world class and they can win you a game. But 100%. We don't want to be in a situation where we're having to go and do that. And especially not first couple games in the season against Fulham and Brighton. If this was City, it's a completely different game. It's 100%. A completely different game. If this is the Champions League final, when Diaz done that, he'd go down in folklore. But not a 1-0 down at Anfield, second game of the season against Crystal Palace. It just doesn't make sense. And I was going to run through this quickly as well. Obviously, minutes played. He played the most minutes, which was 99 minutes, which is crazy. 100 minutes already, just in the bag.
Right, that's crazy.
Obviously, look, his shots, he only had 2 shots, which is only 5th. So when you're thinking about it, he actually wasn't really popping shots like that. So he's not actually as dangerous. His touches in the box was 5, so he was 3rd. His passing accuracy was 80%, which was 13th Liverpool rank, which is actually very high considering it's not as high as you necessarily want it to be. But considering it's, do you know what I mean? He's a winger. He's making risky passes. We've seen Jota at times have 72% pass accuracy.
Very true.
It is for him to be 13th, and that's including the subs as well. That's a good stat for me. His dribbles, he only had 2 successful dribbles, which is mad. And I think that's what it alludes to your point. We're taking away from his game, which is dribbling. If you look at Morris, you look at Grealish, they have multiple dribbles per game because that's what they do. They move the ball from side to side and try to isolate the fullbacks.
That's Grealish's game. That's good. Why do you think Grealish draws so many fouls? Like, he dribbles all the time.
And Diaz is someone that can easily do that because as a dribbler, he's way more explosive. He's someone that could just go and get someone carded quicker because he's explosive. He's an athlete. You're looking at progressive runs. He made 3. His recoveries, he made 6. So I guess as a forward, that's quite good considering there's 9 players. Do you know what I mean?
It's like average. For me, I look at that like an average. It's not rubbish, but it's not. I guess, no, you know what, actually, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, because when we did go down to 10 men anyway, he would have been more in the opposition kind of, in our attacking third a lot more, because we were giving him the ball trying to see if he can just do something and make something happen. So he probably wasn't. He's tired, bro. Like, this guy was spent by the end of the game. Like, you could see, like, he looked like he was on the floor.
Yeah, and we're looking here, and obviously, like I said, he made quite a few successful interceptions very high up. So it's obviously reminiscent of how Liverpool played. You're looking at like all near the box. That's really good. That's on the right hand side, guys. Bottom hand right, bottom left, as you go and see, a lot of unsuccessful offensive duels. So that is an area for concern, because he's having to, and I think this happened when, as you can see popping up on the right, I think this is after the red card, and this is what we're talking about. As I talk about percentages, for Klopp, this would be a concern, because he's saying they'll point to this and be like, essentially, we've lost the ball or gave away possession 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 times.
11 times, yeah.
11 times. So for them, they would obviously look at that and be like, oh my God, like that is crazy. That's crazy. The next one we're gonna go and look at, guys. And you know what? I'll put our faces for this one, because there's a bit of space on this one. Is Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now, this, I mean, as you can see, 25 successful progressive passes, as you can see from the blue stripes on the page, and that's really, really good. Recoveries as well, 5 recoveries, and I think that's, for me, that's the first little red flag, because Diaz had more than you in an offensive position.
In an offensive position, exactly.
Considering where Trent is starting as well, and Trent's the right back. You know, like, if he was further up the field, if he was a winger, I wouldn't have anything to say about that. But you're the fullback. Yeah. So why is Diaz recovering?
If this was Salah's stats right here, then you'd literally be like, oh, that's calm.
Yeah, exactly. That's calm. Aerial duels, it's just one. But I guess they didn't really play aerial duels as that, so it's all right. The biggest problem I've got, I think I know one is the green dot with one tackle.
Thank you.
Now, as Liverpool fans, we do often like to back our players and speak about our players. And every time someone says, you know what, Verge made a mistake. No, he didn't, because he does it this way and that's the way he plays and he's lackadaisical. Or Trent's not great defensively. I know what, but this because of this, and that. Or Hendo's not the best technically. Oh no, that's because he's doing all these other things. And yes, those things are true. But if you look at these things in a bit more isolation, this for me is becoming a worry.
Yeah, one tackle, one in the entire game. He played 90 minutes, right?
He played 90 minutes.
I'm just making sure. I'm just checking.
Well, 99 minutes. 99 minutes.
Sorry, 99 minutes. 99 minutes.
And what 99 minutes. And what we're talking about as well is it's mad, because he can't make one tackle in the opposition's half.
And that's what I was thinking. That's in. Oh, it's in their half. You see, so you've made one tackle in 99 minutes of a game. Of a game where. Well, yeah, sorry.
Like, look. I mean, look. Big up Jamrock. I know you're not, but look, Jamrock saying, look, I'm Trent's neck for his lack of sense of urgency in defended, and you should be, and I think everyone should be. I think should be. I think Linda should be. I think Verge should be, and I know Gomez was last. On Monday night as well. I haven't got the image, but that it's worrying, and I think that's gonna really be our problem, because at this moment in time, you haven't got a right midfielder. It's got to be Henderson playing there. If Thiago plays there, he's not as effective, because I think he likes having the pitch open to himself, because he's right-footed. You playing him on that side, he's stuck on that right-hand side. Keita there hasn't been effective, because defensively we're frail, because of how good Trent can be offensively. Elliot, I mean, that is a serious problem now, because it's a position that teams are now targeting constantly. Champions League final constantly. Even if it isn't going down that side, it's balls from that side over to that side.
We're not saying that, or Jerry, I guess he can speak for himself. He's not saying that, like, yeah, Trent is almost a weak link in the squad. It's not even really that. It's little things, as you just said, because he's only making one tackle and one interception in games. You're looking at and you're thinking to yourself, if he's only doing that on top of Hendo, as we said, is obviously on the decline, or whatever anyone wants to say about him, that's Hendo. Thiago can't really do that role. Keita, as you said, Harvey Elliott, So now you're looking at and thinking, as you said, like the Champions League final, like many games over the last couple of seasons, teams are going to target that. Not because Trent is a dead player. It's got nothing to do with him being a dead player. It's just because of how he plays and his positions on the pitch at any given moment. Look at his passes anyway. Now, I'm only going to assume, as you can see, where the actual, not the ending of obviously where the pass actually goes. Look at the starting point of some of those passes. Look at the starting point. Other than that one in our half, sorry, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in our half, and the other 20 are in the opposition half. So he's making all of his plays is going to be in the opposition half. What does that then mean? There is no one here. If all of his passes are there, that tells me he's standing there. That means his position is there. So there is nothing for our right-hand side. And when, as you said, you don't have a Hendo, who's probably the best person to actually play there. If you don't have a Hendo, it is a major concern. And this is why we get on and on about this whole transfer shit, because we're saying you need to get someone to just help Hendo. How about I want someone to help Hendo? How about I don't want to come on a stream and have to cuss Hendo or cuss Trent because their position is just all left? I don't want to do that. But you're not helping them. You're not helping them.
Yeah, it's true. Listen, what you're saying is facts. Like guys, like this is the stuff that you're gonna hear on Community G on the TikTok on Klopp Zone as well. So make sure to keep like following. Like bit of housekeeping, guys. We're on 48 likes, which is just mad. So if we can get to 50 likes, that will be crazy just off the bat.
2 more likes, guys. Please.
2 more likes, guys, because it's crazy. I know there's 40 of us in the chat. So it is a massive ask, but please, if you can just get those 2 likes, that would be amazing. Now, look, John here is obviously saying, no, look, the creativity can't come from the fullbacks no more. Everybody is clocked. I don't think it's that. Yeah, big up, John, but I don't think it's that. I think it's having the ability to adapt, because there's going to be certain games where they nullify the middle. We've seen it with City. Sometimes the middle's nullified and Cancelo pops up with an assist, or do you know what I mean? Or a lot of times Cancelo, because the other fullback plays differently. But as Cancelo pops up with an assist, or someone from deep pops up with an assist, or you need to have the ability
right there.
Just one, you're gone.
No. You just said it. You just said it right there. Don't you find that even in itself something that maybe we look at? You just said it about Cancelo. The other fullback plays differently to a Cancelo. I feel like both our fullbacks, they kind of do the exact same role on both sides. Yes, maybe not Robbo so much in the middle, although we did see it quite a lot, as we saw with his when he was through on goal. He was trying to get into the middle a lot more. But don't you think that's something that maybe we should even look at ourselves, like potentially having our fullbacks not do the exact same thing? Because City don't have Kyle Walker always doing the exact same thing. Yes, he does it sometimes. He does come in the middle.
I think Kyle Walker plays more, and you see it. And I think, to be fair, give him facts, he's become much more cultured. His IQ and cultured on the ball. He has, because he comes into midfield now and he keeps the ball and he drags the winger inside. Then it means that they're not keeping their width, because if they do, then Walker gets on the ball and he's able to progress it into Rodri, and it's difficult. And I think it's, when you look at it, it's I don't know how you do that. But I think maybe we've tried to go and do that with Trent coming in a bit more. Maybe. But there's too much of a reliance on Trent. Yeah. Because it's amazing. It's all well and good him getting the 20 assists, and it's fantastic. But if that takes away from me from having just more creativity throughout the team, I think that's it's just better suited. If all the goals solely just came from Salah, we'd be in the mud. It has to be everyone. I'd rather, you've seen it with City. City haven't had a 20-30 goal season striker for ages. They haven't. But what they have had is Gundogan gets goals. Everyone gets goals and everyone chips in. And I think if you have that throughout the team, I think that benefits everyone.
Weren't Gundogan top scorer not last season, the season before?
He was, yeah, when he got into team of the season. He was.
But they always seem to have a different one every single year.
There's no emphasis on one player. It's, we're going to win the game. And I guarantee there's not an emphasis on our players, but the types of players we have means that Salah's always going to go and get the goals. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Because if he's not, then who else is? and that's what it's been like because the percentages declined, and we've spoken about it before. So it just goes in the circle. And I mean, when you clocked it, it's just what do we do, G? Like, what do we do,
bro? Honestly, well, I'm seeing. Let me even put that up. You've spoken about this before, maybe not 3-5-2 in that kind of sense, maybe 3-4-3 and stuff. We remember we spoke about this at the beginning of the season when we were doing like a review and stuff like that. Again, I just want to see something different. So I'll be happy if we came against Man United, even though we ain't got 3 centre backs. But if we had the 3 centre backs available, I would love to see something like I don't know anymore, Jerry. I genuinely don't know. The only other thing I can think of is Klopp has to change the style. It has to change, bro. It has to change because you're just seeing Fabinho every game just getting worse and worse. And he wasn't shit, by the way. I don't think he was shit. Yeah, he got dropped by Eze, blah, blah. I get that. But I don't think he was shit. It was just purely that this guy I can see from my TV that this guy is getting overworked. I can see it on the pitch. Do you get what I'm trying? A lot of these players are literally just now overworked because they've been doing this for the last 4 or 5 years now.
Facts,
man.
I mean, it's been a mad one, G. It's been a mad one today. I mean,
bro, your analysis today, guys, like even before we head out, first and foremost, Jerry said it at the beginning. He's hit over 300 streams. I just wanted to big up Jerry myself. I know he's not going to accept it because he never does, but I'll say it here for everybody. The fact that he's been able to kind of get us all here collectively and have these conversations with you guys, like this is literally my favorite show of the damn week. And we're talking tactics. I never thought I would give 2 shits about tactics, but it's now turned into one of my favorite shows purely because of Jerry. Jerry's been able to just kind of galvanize a lot of us to kind of come together, jump on his streams, and we're here today, man. So I just want to big you up yourself with hitting that 300 subs, and here's to many more, bro. Here's to many more.
Yeah, like guys, like as I said, I never thought that 300 of you guys would be tuning in, and it's way more. It's way more because of the likes that we're getting and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact we've got even now, we've got 40 people just tuning in and listening to what we have to say. For me, that's mad because if this was a classroom, it would be ridiculous. Like it'd be ridiculous, ridiculous. Like we're sitting around and it's 500 of us listening to us speak. Like I'm no one special. Like I'm not Klopp. G's not. I mean Pep Guardiola. Not Pep Linders. Not Pep Linders. We're giving you Guardiola. F Linders, man. F Linders. But intensity merchant. Anyway, man. He's like I said. The fact that we're here, like it means a lot to us because we're the same as you guys, and that's what I'm trying to emphasize. That we're the same as Sean, we're the same as Gunali, Abdus, Wino, Liverbird. Do you know what I mean? John in the thing is massive. So big up. We're gonna run through some of the comments before we head out.
And guys, if you ever like, obviously I speak to John, big up yourself. I speak to Sean as well, bro. Anytime you guys want to have a chat, message, DM, tweet us, whatever, bro. I'm here to talk football all day long. So please don't ever feel like it's just on shows that we're gonna have a chat. No. I speak to a lot of you outside of that. So give us
100%,
a shout.
100%. I speak to a lot of you. So guys, you have the ats. We put the ats up. Do you know what I mean in our bios. We're on Instagram, on all socials. So please just reach out. We'll chat football. If there's any topics you want us to cover, like
real talk.
Just tell us because there's loads of things that I might not have thought of that you guys will. Do you know what I mean? You guys might think of like I've just seen in the comments, and I'll get it up if I can find it. But big up, someone's gone and said, "Oh, when are we going to go and talk about Robbo?" I think it was Ryan. So big up Ryan. Yeah, I'm going to get the stats up for Robbo now, and we're going to see his decline and see how he's dropped off. And I don't mind doing that, but like I said, it's a lot of things to go through because it's a fully fledged thing. It's not. Do you know what I mean? These are not small cases. There's the reasons as to why things are the way they are. It's do you know what I mean? It's very comprehensive. So, but big up everyone, man. Yeah, Mohammed Khalif saying Grealish had a field day. Yeah. Liverbird saying that's the damn reason we play a high line because of VAR. That isn't secret. Check the stats. Team to catch more offsides than any other. Exactly. It's been there. Wino saying another issue with Klopp is his inability to not change the system even when it's different personnel. It's very confusing. You have to tweak things. Slow centre backs equals deeper line. Yeah, 100%. But I guess you sacrifice what he wants in the system, isn't it? And that's the problem. Abdus saying, look, God knows where we'll be without VAR. That's true.
That is true, boy.
In the league coming in and look, day 10 of the team. I love this game. Listen, Guys,
When
make
do
sure.
we face Arsenal, guys? When do we face Arsenal?
When do we
when
face
do-
Arsenal? Hey, Guna Lee, yeah. If you're still in the chat, and I'm going to shout you, but I'm proposing a face-off. I'll be the media, but I'm proposing a face-off between yourself and G about
We
this
have
game.
to.
'Cause I
Then
think
we have to face off. We have to.
because the energy I'm feeling from you guys is like you might have not even spoken, but there's just an energy there that needs to just be dealt with. So that we're gonna get that sorted.
It's all
saying,
love, brother. It's all
you
love,
come
brother.
Emirates tomorrow and you like are getting spun.
You see. Now people wonder why I get mad. You see, we're not getting spun, 100%.
Oh man.
Now, big up Guna Lee. Make sure you guys are even. I know this is an LFC channel, but big up Guna Lee, 100%. His analysis and his knowledge. I've been watching over. I've only just been able to tune into him over the last like month or so. He knows his stuff, man. He knows his stuff. So please, also give him some love. Not too much. And when he's here, heckle him. But on his channel, please show him some love, man.
Yeah, big up. Obviously, in here, by the way, in this chat, and I'm putting forward like a statement that needs to just be echoed throughout the LFC spaces, right? From now on, Goonally is not referred to as Goonally within Liverpool. Any vicinity of anything to do with Liverpool, LFC, and the Reds, he is now referred to as Liverpooly. And guys, Liverpooly is how we're going to address him.
You guys heard it first.
I appreciate you calling him the new DT. And to be fair, he winds people up. But it's Liverpooly.
Liverpool now. Liverpool.
No, I don't know if you know, but he was a Liverpool fan before, wasn't it? But that's why.
Huh?
Oh, yeah. We'll chat. But he was a Liverpool fan. He'll tell you. Go check the archives. Go check the archives. His chat was Liverpooly. That's what I knew.
You can't chat to me no more. We're done. I don't even need a face-off anymore. I'm good. I've already won. God. Oh my God.
It's mad.
Yeah. Gouda, I am going to drill you at pause at any given time. Watch it.
Psychedelic scientist saying, to be honest, I saw Diaz lose the ball a lot, taking too long during the first half, and Jones gets hated on doing the same thing. Yeah, and as I said, it's people have agendas on players. I'm telling you, once Elliot, the hype around Elliot dies down, he doesn't start doing the difference and being the difference in games. We're going to say the same thing. We're going to say the same thing about Elliot.
Listen, when Elliot's gone the next 15 games with 0 goals, 0 assists, we're going to be like, is he even that flary? You wait and see. Is he even that flary? Does he even really do? No, he doesn't. We've been telling you this for ages now. But again, let's wait those 15 games for him to have 0 output, apart from, progressive passes and possession, Yeah.
So, Robbie Murphy, big up Robbie Murphy, man. I've seen you in there now a couple of times. Appreciate you tuning in. Saying, look, do you think Firmino will allow Diaz more freedom and also will contribute to a better team performance? I think Firmino's done, Robbie. It's sad to say. I think he just regressed. The percentage we were talking about, he's dropped off the most. The amount of mileage in his legs, I mean, it's actually unfair to expect the same of him. When now we think about it, it's like I can't expect that if we put Carragher in, I can't expect the same Carragher as old. And I think the same thing as Firmino. Doesn't mean what he's done for us isn't amazing, and it was revolutionized the way we play. He did, but yeah, it's just not the same anymore, man. It's just not the same.
We're a different team than the one that had Firmino at the point where he was like the best thing since sliced bread. Like that's done now. That's done.
Exactly, man. Hamid Khalif saying Pogba was the answer. No. Pogba at Liverpool would have just been a horrible mess. No. Marque saying we need a combination of threat centrally and wide. Way too predictable at the moment. Exactly. Jamrock saying in an ideal world, I would have loved to have had a defensively sound right back to challenge Trent with a very good creative midfielder to replace a TAA offense in some games. Yeah. In an ideal world, I mean, that would be great. I mean, how you combat that, because it changes the way you play and does change the way we play. It's the difficult one. Marque saying, look, Robertson's a touchline fullback. He can't operate in a half space. It's facts. And Marque's dropping a fire today,
Marque knows his stuff, man. He knows his stuff.
Yeah,
pick up yourself.
Reload
He knows his stuff. But there's a lot. Listen, this is why I say to everybody, message us, because a lot of you know just about. We're just on the face of the YouTube screen, but most of you know about as much as we do anyway. So give us a shout.
Exactly, man. Exactly. Ricky saying Jerry and G very impressed. Listen, appreciate a lot, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate a lot. Richard Offlong saying an objective gooner here. Big up, and I'm a new subscriber. Big up, Richard, man.
Big up Richard, bro. Man. Love for that.
Love for that. Really appreciate it, especially when it comes from an op, man. It means
you know what's so weird? I know you're gonna continue with the thing, yeah. It's so weird. Arsenal are not even our ops. It's their fans. But Arsenal are not our ops though. But their fans are. That's what I find it so funny. Their fans think we're on the same level. I don't really understand where that comes from. I don't know why.
Yeah. See, Mohammed here, Khalid saying, look, Liverpool League, we still have the tapes. We do. Top Notch T, big up Top Notch saying, oi, don't be the secret gooner. Listen, what's that at that top?
The BBC, you know, I don't actually. Okay,
No. Hold on, but guys, why did he have to say let me see?
Because I didn't know because I had the hoodie on and I just threw it on.
The Arsenal hoodie on.
Huh?
You had an Arsenal hoodie on.
No. Look, the hoodie's this. Look.
Oh, okay.
Power to the people. But okay, let me tell you guys quickly, just because I've heard this way too many times in too many different streams. All right. And by the way, just quickly as well, Roms also got hotted up on a space the other day, and I quote, so you guys need to get onto Roms. I quote, he says he likes Arsenal, and that was his kind of team when he was younger. But again, that's Roms. Anyways, for myself, all it was when I was growing up, you got to realize I was in a school whereby I was the only Liverpool supporter. Everyone else supported Arsenal, Manchester United, and Chelsea. Growing up, Arsenal were a team full of people who looked like me, and I just felt like I could align with them a lot. But I never, ever joined their team to support or anything. I just like their players. My favorite player in history, or in the Premier League history, is Thierry Henry. So I've got a like for their players, but Arsenal, nah. Liverpool all day, every day.
All right, guys, in the chat, we got to keep an eye out on him. I'm not sure. Maybe let me know in the chat. Do I need to cut G off? Is this what it is? Have the ops infiltrated? Because Liverpool Lee done this before on Kopish. He infiltrated the whole system. And then we were all left.
If you guys see me, okay, I'm going to say it here now on Jerry's Live so that this will be played anywhere in the future. If you ever see me on an Arsenal channel and I'm repping Arsenal, cancel me. I want to be cancelled myself. Cancel me. Oh God, cancel me. That is what I'm telling you to do.
Look, even top notch. He's saying sounds fishy. Yeah, like we never know. But guys, massive thanks. We've hit 53 likes.
Boom.
So we surpassed the 50. Massive thank you. Before we head out, G, got anything to say? Anything coming up?
Guys, please. We've got me and Ash from Klopp Zone. We've got our weekly podcast. It's out already on Hyken Sports. You'll find everything on my Instagram, in my Linktree account. Please hit that like button on the podcast. We've got another one coming out on Monday, 7 a.m. We're trying to get Jerry and Roms on the next show. So look out for that. And again, catch me on the Jerry James. Catch me on Klopp Zone. Catch me everywhere, man. Catch me everywhere.
Yeah, big up, G. He's doing massive things. And listen, there's some massive news that we'll announce when it's available, but it's massive stuff. So please stay tuned, guys. With in regards to obviously the podcast, G's podcast, please check out on Spotify as well. So if you're, it's out on all platforms. So just please check it out. I did the same thing. I was in the van working today, and I was like, raw. It was just giving me crease. I had to even post about it. So if you haven't seen it, just check out my Instagram so you'll see it there. But guys, it's been another show of the Jerry James Show. Tactics Board, as always, my favorite show. Thank you so much for staying in, obviously, tuning in whilst there's been about 40 people consistently, which is crazy numbers. That's two classes. That's the way I look at it. That's two classes in the sport, 2-year groups. So big up. It's been your boy Jerry James, obviously with G, and we're out. Peace.